Joining us now is a economist who's, he's on it. He's a pro-Trump guy, Steve Moore. He's a co-founder of Unleash Prosperity. I get his stuff every day, and it's worth reading, that's for sure. In my analysis, am I making any mistakes, Mr. Moore?
Hi, Bill. Great to be with you. Thanks so much for having me on. Great admirer of yours. I think you got most of the story right. As a Trump guy, if I were a Trump political guy, I advise him a little bit on economics. I would be worried about those numbers. Now, remember, one thing that skews these numbers is that the country is, as you've reported and everyone knows, is so polarized today that Trump could start world peace. He could find a cure for cancer. He could create 10 million jobs, and still about half the country would still say they oppose him. Just as under Biden, half of the country was opposed to everything he was doing. So that's why I take a little bit of these polls with a grain of salt. But it is worrisome. You're right. And I think you diagnosed the problem well, that the biggest thing that people are concerned about, and I have a one-person sample, and that's my wife, who says every time I come home, you got to do something about grocery prices. And people are angry about it. And they went way up under Biden, and they've stayed high under Trump. So that is something people are very worried about because they go to the store, 2 or 3 or 4 times a week. Now, I would say that one thing is going to provide some big relief is what you mentioned at the end, which is energy prices. Gas prices are coming down, and many areas of the country were below $3 a gallon when they were as high as $5 a gallon a few years ago. So that's something that people pay attention to as well. And that is a result of Trump's drill, baby, drill policies. You increase the supply of something, the price goes down.
Okay. Is there anything that any president can do about lowering food prices? Or is it just the marketplace that has to do that?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think it's the marketplace. One of the things that's really curious, Bill, and I don't have an answer to this, but I'll just raise it as an issue. Have you talked to farmers lately? They don't feel like they're doing very well. The farmers, they're complaining.
They always
And yet you've
complain.
got high. What's that?
They always complain.
Yeah.
I've never, ever, and I love the farmers,
Right.
but
Well,
they
they're
always
feeling
complain.
strained now. And so you have prices at the grocery store are going up, and yet farmers are saying they're not doing any better. So where's the money going?
The transportation companies and the food companies. Food companies' margin of profit, okay, the big food companies, it's up. They're not hurting. That's where the money's going. But I don't see, Nixon, as you know, and being an economic scholar, tried wage price controls. Disaster.
Didn't work.
Can't do it. So when Donald Trump says, I'm going to bring down food prices, he's raising expectations to a level that he can't meet. Am I wrong?
I don't think he should have said that. What he should have said is, I'm going to stabilize food prices. And to a large extent, he has done that. I mean, look, the overall inflation rate in the economy, which had reached as high as 9% under Joe Biden, is now running at 2.6, 2.7%. That I'd like to see that down below 2.5%. I'd like to see it closer to 2%. But it's it's in a range that you can live with. Now, one thing to think about, if people are concerned about high prices, then is this the right time to be cutting interest rates? Because cutting interest rates puts more money in the economy. I'm a little nervous about that. When Trump says, let's cut interest rates by 200 basis points, be careful of what you wish for, Mr. President. You flood the economy with that much money. What is inflation? We learned this from Milton Friedman.
Well, he's
inflation
hoping
is too many dollars chasing too few goods. So
but
putting a
he's
lot of new money
hoping
in the
that
economy may not be a great idea.
cold and flu season coming on up. We all know it. And it really is nothing to take lightly. So when people start getting sick all across the country, medications disappear. Everybody wants it at the same time. So it's very, very smart to have a pharmacy you can count on, like All Family Pharmacy. Right now, they're helping Americans get ahead of the curve with 10% off antibiotics, antivirals, other essentials. You know how important it is to have the right meds when you get sick, particularly when your kids get sick. You don't want to be going into the doctor's office, spending all the time. You want to have them at your home. So if you have a few months' supply, you don't have to worry. And that's what we're doing here. If you believe in medical freedom, okay, and taking care of your family, as I do, this is the pharmacy for you. Please go to allfamilypharmacy.com/Bill. Use code BILL10 to save 10%. Here's what he's hoping for. He's hoping that the interest rate cut will stimulate job creation and get the job market moving again so that people would be earning more money. That's what the tariff thing's all about. He wants the American people to earn more money because that's what happened in his first term. So that's why he's doing it. I don't oppose that. But here's the last question for you. This issue is everything for Donald Trump, far more than Ukraine and Gaza and even China. China is unbelievably serious. But this issue is coming to a head in the midterm elections. It's 14 months. And if the White House is not able to present a vastly improving economic situation, they risk losing Congress, one or both houses. That's the urgency.
Yeah. Well, I agree with what you just said. It is the economy, stupid. And I'm very bullish. You're talking to one of the most bullish guys out there. I like a lot what Trump is doing. Now, I'm not a big fan of the tariffs, but I like these trade deals. I think he's going to get a better deal with some of these countries. He's already gotten commitments of hundreds of billions of dollars. He says trillions, but I'm going to say hundreds of billions of dollars of new investment in the United States. That will create a lot of jobs. We have completely secured the border. We've got, down 94% in terms of illegal immigration. As I mentioned, low gas prices, a records to high stock market, and people are feeling, just better about stuff. So I think good times are here to come.
All right, Steve. For everybody, I hope you're right. It's not a political play. I want all Americans to have better lives, and you need money to do that. There's no doubt about it.